Well, hi there and welcome along to another edition of What's the Word in association with Ladbrokes. I'm Tom Malone, joined this week by Brendan Duke back in the saddle. How are you, Dukey?
Good. It's an interesting weekend.
Yeah, different. A Sunday off.
Yes,
Sunday off.
yeah.
I'm intrigued to see what you're going to do on Sunday. What about you, Nicola? How are you? You all right?
Just about recovered from Epsom. What a brilliant 2 days it was. I love the Derby so much and they really look after the press there too.
Key, you were saying it's your favourite festival.
It is. They have a masseuse in the press room. I had 2 massages in one day. That I really,
No winners,
I
2
really made
massages.
the most of it. That was my winning moment.
Yeah, well, that's better than many of us. What about you, Jenno?
We actually had a masseuse in the office during the week as well.
Did you?
As part of our culture activities, yeah. I've only ever had 2 massages, and I kind of forgot that you could have a massage without taking off your clothes.
No, okay, that'll do an awkward moment, I'm sure.
So I was kind of going, is everybody just going to take off their clothes?
Well, no, you do stay clothed. And I actually took Gary O'Brien's slot, so you had to put your name
didn't
down
know
on the
what
slot.
you were
Yeah, I wasn't sure what that was going to.
Gary
be honest,
O'Brien's
Nicola.
trousers
He
on.
walked in when I was mid-massage. I was like, Gary, do you mind? He's like, that was my slot. I only had 15 minutes, so I don't think he's too happy with me.
Okay,
Was it good?
Excellent.
They're really good, aren't they?
Yeah.
And you were in Listow, were you? Well,
I
this
was
is
in Listow, yeah.
My goodness. What about the Derby itself, the race? What are your sort of key takeaways? We think about, first of all, afterwards, and it's just this, like, Galileo. Is, you know, and even the BHA came out and said, oh, well, the Irish have Galileo, so shrugging the shoulders. Bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's kind of just throwing the blame. Obviously, it's the best operation in the world, and they have got the best stallion, and they now have the best middle distance horses, and there's just not enough middle distance horses being bred in England, really. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, it's all, like, I think, was it Richie wrote in his column during the week just how, like, so many horses are being bred for speed now. And looking forward, I thought Japan ran a really interesting race, because we all said all along he was the one that had the most improvement to make. And he did make the most improvement from his run in the Dante. And I'd imagine he'll come forward a lot again. Like, he was really weak on the exchanges.
Yeah.
So, to me, he screamed Ledger winner to me. I know everybody's saying Broome, but he was the one that screamed to me Ledger winner, because I think the long home straight in Doncaster really suit him. So, to me, yeah. And then, like, a mile and 2 for Mad Moon looks the right move as well. But the winner was very good.
Yeah. Who do you think we'll see in the Irish Derby?
The winner?
The winner?
Anthony Van Dyke, yeah. And I think you'll see
Surely Circus Maximus, actually.
Anthony Van Dyke, Circus Maximus, and probably one more, I'd imagine.
Norway, maybe, or something.
Yeah, no chance though.
What about your key takeaway from the Derby, Dukey?
Key takeaways, I think the Curragh should be very excited because I think the first 5 will all run in the Irish Derby and a length separated them in the race.
Including Mad Moon?
Yes, I think Mad Moon, who would be my bet for the Irish Derby at the moment. I see there's 11-2 on a place. It's just so unfortunate. Like, you're dealing with fractions in that game. He clips the heels of the winner about 3 furlongs out, and I don't know whether it was the jolt of adrenaline that the horse probably got, or maybe Chris Hayes is, like, not his fault, an automatic reaction. You think, oh, I've lost ground, I have to make up ground. And he gave him 3 shakes of the rein, and it just lit him up completely. And then he made this massive move at a time he wouldn't have been making the move if he hadn't clipped heels. And I thought that probably just about cost him the race. And you're looking at 7-40 AVD and 11-2 him for the Irish Derby. I certainly couldn't have that big of a gap between them.
Yeah, and I mean, Anthony Van Dyke actually had a dream run because he's pretty much won the first away. Then he seemed to carry the steadiest pace. He let Mad Moon and Ryan Moore go on, and then he got a dream run. He could run along the rails and just outstay them. It was probably, of all the hard luck stories, he probably had the best luck story, didn't he?
How fascinating is the Curragh going to be?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going to be an intriguing race indeed. Before we get to the Curragh, though, obviously we've got Ascot to come. So, given we've got a pretty light weekend of racing, let's look ahead to Royal Ascot. And you're going to give us a couple. Go on, Jake, we'll start with you. Maybe one for a handicap as well, but before that.
Yeah, well, a couple of weeks ago I gave Hazapur and Sierra Fina. Hazapur project still has legs. Sierra Fina's going for the French Oaks. That's a bit of a blow. But for the handicaps, well, I was in Leopardstown yesterday and settled for Bay. We'll have gone into a few Royal Ascot trackers. A very similar run to his run the handicap last year before going on to win the Hunt Cup. He's £6 higher this year. I don't think you need to get too obsessed about handicap marks and races like that, though, because the only well-handicapped horses in mile races at Ascot are the ones running in the Britannia. You can't be that well handicapped and get into the Hunt Cup.
Yeah.
So he's £6 higher. He absolutely bolted up last year. Now the only thing is the bookies haven't missed him. He's 12 to 1. He'd probably be 12 to 1 on the day, but he's going to go very well in the Hunt Cup, you would think. But for a bet, I see Ladbrokes are top price gunmetal for the Wokingham. I think that could be taking a chance. I expect gunmetal to go off favourite in the Wokingham. It'll still be 10 to 1 the field or something. But a very taken effort over 5 furlongs in New York the last day. He's had a couple of runs this season, and they suggest that it's all about the Wokingham, and I think you'll see him put in a peak effort, which might be good enough.
Good stuff. What about you, Nicola? Anything for you you're really looking forward to?
Well, I gave the traders a call yesterday just to see what the worst liabilities are, who we expect to be the best backed. So the 4 ones that we say we're running scared from: 1, Stradivarius in the Gold Cup, having won the last 2 years, this race last year. Goston to Tory will be a hugely popular combination. Speaking of Wesley Ward, he usually loves to have a winner here at Royal Ascot. Naboth is the one he seems to be really talking up this year in the Albany Stakes, and he has an outstanding record in these 2-year-old races. In the Commonwealth Cup, 10 Sovereigns is probably going to be red hot favourite now that we found out Calyx is not going to be there, and the step back and trip will be a bonus. And then the last one, it has to be Hermosa in the Carnation Stakes. Of course, she did the English and Irish 1,000 guineas double, and she's going to be hugely popular to make it a treble in Group 1 races.
Yeah, absolutely, taking the winter route. What about you, Jeno?
My banker to festival has been the same for a long time, and it is Ickworth in the Queen Mary for Willie McCreary, Godolphin and Billy Lee. I think she is exceptional. I can't believe she's not favourite, given what she did that day at the Curragh. First meet back, she beat the boys and she hammered them, and she just looks like she's got loads of speed. I think the Queen Mary is tailor-made for her, and William McCreary's team are in top form. She's still 8 to 1 with Ladbrokes. I think that's a great price. And a couple others that I fancy, like I think if you back Lady Kay now for the Commonwealth Cup, I don't think she'll go off any bigger, because the weather forecast is very mixed for the next couple of weeks, and if there is cut in the ground, like she'll go off half the price she is now. I think she's very quick, and the 1,000 guineas could hardly have worked out better with Hermosa. So I think Lady K in the Commonwealth Cup. And one horse that I'm very interested in, wherever it runs in a handicap, would be Sextant, who was beaten at Epsom last week. Just the way it drifted in the market beforehand, I just didn't think it was D-Day for Sextant. Michael Stout, owned by the Queen. I'd be very interested in Sextant wherever he shows up. And one other one in the Wokingham. Obviously, Jeremy Noceda has announced that he will retire after Royal Ascot, I think, isn't it? And I thought Cenotaph was interesting, the ex-Aidan O'Brien horse in the Wokingham. About 16 to 1, I thought that might be a plat job.
Yeah, my Royal Hunt Cup horse is probably not getting in anyway. Jassar, who was a nice winner, I think I'm 93.
Too well handicapped, Tom.
Too
These
well
handicapped horses don't get in.
Yeah, he probably won't get in. Anyway, let's move on to the Saturday action. The pick of it comes from Haydock. We'll start with the Pinnacle Stakes at 2 that Group 3. True Self stepping up in class here. Surely she's favourite, Nicola.
Just attracting all the money. Shortened up again this morning into even money from 5 to 4. She continued last season's great form at Gorham last month and looks on course to step it up. I suppose the biggest challenger will be Classic. He's in there at 7 to 2 for Haggis. Again, another horse who looks open to improvement since coming second at Goodwood last month. And then John Gostin's Group 3 winner Highgarden is next best at 11 to 2.
Yeah, I think she's going to £11 well in against Highgarden officially, True Self. So that should be enough, shouldn't it?
She's £8 superior to everything else in the race. She's 112. The next 104. Like this, should she not be 1 to 2? I've been baffled by the betting for the last couple of days, because it was obvious she was going to run. The decks came out on Thursday, and she's everything in her favour. Like, she's trained by Willie Mullins, whose gallop is as deep as there is in the world. So she's going to handle the ground. She's already won on soft ground. She was fine at Gorham Park when there was cutting the ground. I was working that night in Gorham Park, and Colin Keane said she actually blew up. Yeah. And she'll improve an awful lot for the run.
Colin Keane loves this horse.
Yeah, he does. Like, the trip is a little bit of a worry. It's probably as sharp as she wants it, but she's just much better.
She's just going to jump out and make goals.
She could go off 1 to 2.
Yeah, Willie Mullins and Colin Keane, by the way, 2 out of 2 in the UK. I think they've a 23% strike
And I would
rate.
say they're both True Self.
Indeed, there you go.
You didn't know that, did you?
What?
You didn't know that? I caught you on the hop there.
Yeah, right. What about you? Can you see past Willie Mullins in that one?
Even money, like we have to just bear in mind with all these Haydock tips. Haydock is twinned with the Amazon Basin this weekend. The ground is going to be borderline abandonment ground. It's definitely going to be heavy. So even money, she should win. She should handle the ground. But Haydock heavy ground is a law unto itself. I just couldn't back a horse at even money. And if ever there was a race designed for a boil over, it's a fillies race on Haydock heavy ground. And there's one running there at 25 to 1 with Ladbrokes called Dance Legend. Now you can see why she's 25 to 1 because she's rated 89 and she's stepping out of a class 4 handicap into a listed race. However, she's only had 8 runs. She has an AF on the dam side, which is inclined to improve dramatically with time. She bolted up the last day in a race that's working out. The problem is I've had a few quid in her each way because I think the price is too good, but there's 9 runners and outside of True Self, I wouldn't fancy any of them on the ground. So you mightn't get even 8 runners. Yeah. But if you did, 25 to 1 each way, massive price.
Okay, I guess move on to the John McCowan Stakes then. Also at Haydock, that goes supposed to 25 to 4. Headed back for this, Nicola.
We have a new favourite in Safe Voyage now, 3 to 1. Now he is a bit of a course specialist at this point. 3 out of 4 wins over course and distance. It's very hard to separate the front two, but I'd be in favour of Safe Voyage. Sir Dancelot's in there at 4 to 1. Again, he made a positive return in the Lockinge at Newbury after a long absence of 7 months. He had a good season last year, so I think, it's quite hard to separate the two. I'm just leaning towards Safe Voyage. And then, of course, we can't forget William Haggis's Mankib's in there as well, who looked impressive on his comeback. He's in there at 5 to 1, so he'll probably have supporters on the day too.
Who do you think is likeliest to handle this?
I think the likeliest winner is Sir Dancelot. Now, if Sir Dancelot was running on decent ground, you'd be all over Sir Dancelot. Like, Sir Dancelot is potential Group 1 winner, Group 2 winner, who is so much better than these. And everybody is saying that he won't handle the ground, but he was 5th in the good sprint race on Champions Day last year to Sansa Mali and had the likes of the Tin Man behind. That was on soft ground and it was proper soft autumn ground at Ascot. So I think he could be okay. The one that I would advise people to back now, if you're watching it on Friday evening, will be Breton Rock, because he's guaranteed, sole run on heavy ground at 1, has won twice on soft, guaranteed to love the ground. Like, what price is it now, Nicola, Breton Rock?
7 to 1.
7 to 1. That will go off possibly 7 to 2, 4 to 1. So you could trade out. I think Breton Rock will run his race. He'll be bang there, but I just think the most likely winner is Sir Dancelot.
Good stuff. What about you, Doogie?
Well, the Ladbrokes compilers have stolen my thunder because I was all set to say, how is this Safe Voyage not favourite? Should be favourite. I still think there's some juice in the 3 to 1. He's never run on Haydock heavy ground, but he has a great record at Haydock on soft ground. An improving horse. I just think he'll handle conditions better than anything else, and that should be enough.
Elsewhere at Haydock, you've got a couple for us, Doogie?
Oh, well, again, I'm just going totally by course form. This Stake of Claim, again, he's favourite.
Oh, I'm taking you on.
He's favourite in the 3 o'clock, but the last time he ran on Haydock heavy ground, he was a fast diminishing short head second to Don Juan Triumphant, proper form. His comeback was absolutely brilliant. He missed all of 2018, but his comeback was brilliant. He's had 2 months to get over that. We like that. Try to avoid the bounce. I thought he'd be very hard to beat on the ground.
That's in the 3 o'clock?
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're going to call it the Bristol de Mai angle. Elsewhere at Haydock as well in the 410?
Oh, yes. Old friend of the show, Jim Cana, is back. And he is with David O'Mara, first run for David O'Mara. Now, of course, he's been with Airlines and Jessica Harrington, so it's not like it's a massive trainer upgrade or anything. But the Jim Cana, best fresh. That's a massive angle with him. And I think he'll go in a big price. Whether there's cash from him or not, I don't know, because I remember he won on debut for Jessica Harrington and they couldn't give it away in the market in Gore on Monday. But what he wants is to be fresh and heavy ground. Fresh, heavy ground. We're going to get a price. I think he's definitely worth taking a chance on. Yeah,
that's fair enough at Haydock. Anywhere else in the UK for you on
Well,
Saturday?
I'm taking Dookie on in the 3:35. He likes, or in the 3 o'clock, sorry, he likes Stake of Claim. I like Tarbouche for Paul Midgley and Graham Lee. Tarbouche has ran on the quagmire that is Haydock heavy ground. Ran last September, finished third, was only headed in the last couple of yards, travelled really well, seemed to really enjoy the ground. Really eye-catching return to action this year. I would kind of forget its run the last day. It didn't really get into a rhythm in a good race behind Mabs Cross. Better than that, Graham Lee is booked. I think he'll handle the ground. So Tarbouche in the 3 o'clock. And possibly one of my strongest fancies of the day is in the 145 that opens the Haydock card Prejudice, who is a brother to Postponed, who won the King George, of course, on soft ground, and is a half-brother to a horse called, I remembered it a second ago. Give me a second. It's called, I'll think of the name of it by the end of the show.
Of course you will.
Anyway, the half-brother won on heavy ground as well, so it should handle the ground. It's rated 86. It's joined David Simcock this year, traded even money on its return to action, just got a little bit tired. Crying out, I think, for step up and trip. I think Prejudice is going to be very hard to beat.
So
God-given. God-given.
Prejudice related to God-given, postponed.
Half-brother.
Prejudice is the...
All its relations have won.
Okay.
Its best relations has won on soft ground, so I think Prejudice is going to be very hard
I'll
to beat.
sleep in ahead tonight knowing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
God-given.
For people staying up late on Saturday night, of course, Belmont Stakes, third leg of the Triple Crown in America, and you like one in this?
Yeah,
Nicola?
the front two are the obvious ones, Tacitus and War of Will at 13-8 and 2-1. But the big story is the Japanese horse Master Fencer at 11-1, who is bidding to come Japan's first winner of a Triple Crown race. I think he looked very eye-catching in the Kentucky Derby, and just with the front two, they're just too short for me because you just don't know how these horses are going to handle the trip, 12 furlongs. And I think Master Fencer will have a lot of stamina, and at 11-1 looks a bit of value.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm kind of against you. I'm with Tacitus. I couldn't believe the way he finished in the Kentucky Derby, given the way he failed to break and then appeared to hit the kickback. Right, let's move on to the Sunday action. There's not a lot of it, to be honest. There's not a lot of Sunday action. So probably
I'll
quick
go
and
for a
up,
sleep now if that's
Yeah,
okay.
you just chill out there. You like one at Perth.
Yeah, I do. I thought
Go.
Godaway had a
What's he
big
buying?
chance. I don't know.
Don't know, no idea.
Do you?
Sad as well.
It's got away from me.
Go on.
I think, I thought it's actually a really good race. Like Gordon Elliott brings over Out Sam, which is interesting. He won the Cork Grand National a couple of years ago, and there's a couple of others in there that have decent form. Like for this time of year, it's quite a good race. But I think Godaway has really solid form. Was second in a Grade 2 at Cheltenham in April in that handicap chase. The Silver Trophy, second to Mr. Whittaker. It's rated 139. It's managed, despite running really well all season, it's managed to kind of hold a mark somewhere between 136 and 139. I thought it ran well in a listed race last time over course and distance at Perth, behind My Old Gold. And I'd imagine Nicky Richards, or I'd imagine that Oliver Sherwood has kept her for this race. Aidan Coleman is booked. I think she's still well handicapped off 139. So got away in the 4:25 at Perth.
Okie doke. And you like one at Goodwood, Juki, at 2 o'clock.
Just before that, if I could touch on the 4 o'clock in Navan.
Oh, yeah, sorry,
I should have
Navan.
mentioned that, Tom, remiss of me. But this Kerrison, it's quite a good race for the money, this, but Kerrison ran over a mile and a half in Leopardstown, looked like he was crying up for step up and trip. Got it over 2 miles in the Curragh the last day, luckless, 1 length third. He's gone up 2 pounds, he's rated 89 in the 60 to 90. Now, it's a pretty hot race, but I think we'll get an each way price, and with the class edge, it'd be hard to kick out of
So
the
that's
frame.
Kerrison at 4 o'clock in Navan.
4
on
o'clock
Saturday.
in Navan. And
on
then
Sunday?
the 2 o'clock in Goodwood, quite a good race this. Lincoln Park might take a bit of the market because he gets the 3-year-old Lowndes and he was quite impressive in Chester, but I think he will make the market, and the pace for Mubhidge, who I think will be favourite, but a backable favourite. He got £9 for a Yarmouth romp. Now, the form hasn't been tested, so I don't know how good it was, but he looked a proper tool. He just tanked through the race. This is only the 5th run of his life at Goodwood on Sunday, and I think it'll be very hard to beat.
Good stuff. Right, it's time for our best bets of the weekend, then we'll wrap up. We'll start with the Brendan Duke special, the traditional Trixie. Go on, Jukey.
Right, the traditional Trixie, so I will nap Stake a Claim in the 3 o'clock at Haydock. I will go for Safe Voyage in the 3:35 in Haydock. And I will take a chance on Dance Legend in the 2:25 at Haydock.
25-1.
So if the Trixie, of course it's the first leg, which is a bit, that sort of hurts the drama a bit. But look, if it wins, I won't care. So
Yeah.
Dance Legend, yeah, we'll go for it all.
Good stuff, all in. Right, what about you, Nicola?
Okay, I'm with you. Safe Voyage, definitely in the John of Gaunt Stakes. In the Pinnacle Stakes, I'm being really boring and sticking with the favourite that is True Self. And in the Belmont Stakes, Master Fencer.
Good stuff.
Okay, I'm going to go for Prejudice in the 1:45. I think it'll handle the ground. I'm going for Tarbouche in the 3 o'clock at Haydock. And my other selection is at Beverley. And it is in the Hilary Needler. And it is Rose of Kildare, who did incredibly well to win last time out. It was sent off even money favourite, hit 27 in running, and remarkably got up to win going away. I think she will be a plunge horse on Saturday. That is Rose of Kildare in the 2 o'clock at Beverley.
Cool. I think is O Purple Rain running that?
No, but that will win as well.
Yeah, I'm with O Purple Rain. That's my best bet of the weekend at Beverley. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll be back again next week with more What's the Word.